Are you taking advantage of all the tools that are available to you out there today? Do you even use social media? Well, today we're going to be talking about being successful using social media. Join me today as we continue to keep surging forward. Hello, and welcome to the Surging Forward broadcast, where we're helping you to have a positive view in a negative world. My name is David Valentine, and I'm here to help you see the value in the job you do and how you can keep surging forward. Hello, and welcome to the Surging Forward podcast. This is going to be one of the first episodes that we're going to do where I'm basically videotaping it. And so we're going to put this video up on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, just look up Surging Forward on YouTube, and you should be able to find a few of the little videos. We're kind of starting to learn to play around with video a little bit as we want to develop some other courses and get some information out there. But I hear the video is some of the biggest markets out there, so wanted to try to experiment this. So I'm looking forward to the comments so you can let me know how it works out. But I want to welcome you to the Surging Forward podcast. If this is your first time, hey, welcome. This is a place where we can learn how to create a positive view in a negative world. You see, we get caught up in so much negativity, and I say this every week, week in and week out. But we need to be reminded of this all the time. We need to do something in our lives to keep it positive, because that's what's going to help you keep surging forward. You see, I can't do it for you, and nobody else can. But what I can do to help you out is to keep giving you those encouraging words, because that's what I get. I get encouraging words from all over. But I've had to work at it. I've had to get a network of people around me. And, of course, I got my wonderful wife. She always takes care of me, and she's put up with a lot for the past 30-some-odd years. But today's episode, and we're on episode 40. And it's interesting the topic that I chose this time because I've gotten really involved in social media. I never thought for the life of me that I would be in social media. I got a Facebook page way back when my kids were still in high school, and it was basically, I'll be honest, it was just to kind of see what my kids were doing. What are they doing out there? I had no idea what Facebook was or any of that. And so I had a Facebook page, but I never used it. Well, I've only been doing the podcast for 8 months now, and my son got me into that because I mentor. I try to take some time and mentor different people, but that takes up a lot of time. When I go meet somebody for an hour or so, and by the time you do 2 or 3 people a week, well, that ends up taking in. Plus, I teach at night, and plus I'm working during the day. But that's what this is about, how you can work your way up. And if you listen to last week's podcast about, if it was easy, it wouldn't be called work. So in order to be successful, you're going to have to put some work into it. But one of the ways that I have seen about using social media is we get out of the box. See, we all live in our little box. Wherever you live at or wherever you're from, we're all in this little box that we live in. And so it's one of those things, we only see what's right around us. But I've gotten involved in quite a few groups in social media, mostly electrical, because that's my main background. But now as working as an inspector, I do electrical, I do HVAC, I do plumbing, I do rebar, I do pipe work, I do concrete. I get involved in a lot of different ones. And that's something I'll probably talk about, my success story. I mean, I'm working for an engineering firm now, but I started from the ground up, just like some of you guys. And some of y'all may be in the middle of your trade or midlife or maybe verge of retirement. But there comes a point, it doesn't all come overnight. But there are some avenues where it can come a lot quicker nowadays because the way social media and the way the world has opened up. You see, when I first started out in the trade, I maybe had 1 or 2 people that would show me something if they had time. all the rest of the stuff, I'd have to go out and do it myself. Whether it was going to the library and just picking up a book and trying to read it, and let alone understand it. I just got out of high school just like some of you guys do, and I got caught up in life happens. I got married at a young age. I had 2 young kids I had to take care of, just out of the Navy. So it was one of those things where, okay, it was do or die. It wasn't a matter of maybe somebody's going to help me out. There wasn't a whole lot of people there to help us out, get going. So I had to go find the resources of how to learn. But today with social media, it is wide open. I've probably learned more in the past 8 months about networking and the different applications for the trades that are out there than ever before. So just to let you know, I'm still fairly new at those social media. I find it ironic. I'm doing a podcast on how to use social media to help you succeed, and I am still new at it, but it is such a broad thing out there. And of course, you got to be careful. You don't want to get caught up in a lot of the craziness. People get into talking politics and garbage and, cursing here and there. You don't want to get caught up in that. So you can filter that out basically by just not participating and choosing not to read it. But that shouldn't keep you from looking at some of the good information out there. So, like I say, I just started getting into it. I'm now on Facebook. We have a Twitter account. I'm on LinkedIn. Now, I've been on LinkedIn for a while. That's more of a professional site, and we'll be talking about that a little bit. And, of course, blogging. I started reading a couple blogs, and it's just amazing what you can learn out there when, you're participating in this. So, just to let you know, I am not by far an expert. I would encourage you just to do some research on your own and look up social media. But one of the ones I want to talk about first, let's talk about some of the types of social media that are available out there. The first one I want to talk about is Facebook. Facebook is a very easy place to go in and get an account. And when you make an account, just very simple, and you can make up your filters, and you can keep it as private as you want, so nobody can find you. You don't want people doing anything, but nobody can post on your site if you don't let them. So it's not like they can, people are going to just start bullying you off the bat. You want to hear so many bad things about it. That's because people just open up their doors wide open. But if you go through Facebook, there's ways to set that up. But the key thing about Facebook, not only can you create, you friend other people, and sometimes it's people you don't know, but you start getting people that have the same interests that you have. For example, if you're in the trades, you find other plumbers, other HVAC technicians, other electricians, and you find those out there. And the way you find some of these guys is you do what they join groups. And that's what they're called. Now, there's a couple groups that are interesting out there that I'm in, and a group is where individuals can go and they share information. And remember I talked about being in a little box? Well, it's just like when I teach my students in class. We only see the little jobs we're working on. Remember, there's a vast amount of jobs going on right now as we speak all across the United States. People working on different projects, different jobs, whatever the case may be. On top of that, there's all kind of different experiences, different projects, different aspirations, different things that's going on that we may not see. You may only work in homes. You may work in an industrial environment. You may work in a commercial environment. Whatever the case may be. And so there may be others that work in a residential environment that do things different than you do. And that's how we learn. You don't have to learn everything by yourself. It's not required to do that like it used to be back when I came up. I had to do everything myself. If I wanted the knowledge, I had to go read a book. If I wanted to learn how to bend pipe, nobody took the time to teach it to me. Oh yeah, I got the book with all the trigonometry information in there and all of that. But no, I remember going to getting a big bundle of pipe, and I got to tell this story. I always miss it, but I remember the first pipe job I did. I was so proud of it. But all the bends I made, they were perfect. But the one thing I failed to do is read the code book. And the code said you can't do more than 360 degrees worth of bends. Well, when my foreman saw it, he was not a happy camper. We would have thought he had been just as proud as I was of the whole job, but no, it was not the case. And of course, the labor laws were a little bit different back then. They've got a little stricter now. But basically, it was a Friday afternoon, and he looked at me and told me, if you don't take all that crap down and have it reinstalled over the weekend, don't bother coming to work Monday. Oh, and by the way, you're not getting paid, pal. Whoa, I need my job. I got 2 kids at home, like I said. So, at least to say, I went and figured out what it said in the code. And again, I was working for just a little small shop. You know, it wasn't like it was a big, huge company or anything. But I figured it out. And I went back in there and I replaced all that stuff. But it taught me a big lesson. Never again did I go in and do something without understanding the rules and the regulations based on code. So, and now I teach the code. It's kind of ironic how it comes around like that as an instructor. And I share that story. And I share it because sometimes on some of the Facebook things, you got to be a little careful because some people beat up on some of the younger guys a little bit. And that's not really what it's about. But some of the cool groups you can get into for code is, it's become my favorite now, is a new one that I've gotten into. Is called Electrical Tricks and Tips. Now this is one where a good fellow electrician, a friend of mine that I know, he started this group because he wanted to keep it clean. And he wanted to keep it clean for some of the guys coming in to just to learn different tips and tricks on how to do the electrical trade, including talking about code. One of the other ones is called the Electricians Lair. This group of electricians, they discuss the same thing, electrical wizardry. And I'm going to list all these inside at the podcast. I'll give you links to go into those sites. The other one is electrical code discussion. Now that's a very good, intense one, and there's a lot of good people in there. But you don't want to say foolishness stuff. Sometimes you don't have to ask anything. Just sit back and read some of the questions. You will learn so much. And after a while, then you start participating. You might even respond to a couple questions. And you'll find out that many of the questions that are asked are the same questions that you would like to ask. Another group that's out there is electrical safety. There's a group called Plumbers Talk Group. And again, that one's fellow plumbers. They get together and do the same thing. And they talk about things in their trade. And there's another one, HVAC Technician Group. That's another group that's in there. HVAC Pro Talk. That's another great group for tradesmen. So again, they just get together and they talk about these shows. Shows. They don't talk about podcasts so much, but they talk about their jobs. They talk about what's happening and what's going on. So you might want to check that out. And again, just ask to join the group. Now, sometimes you do have to, prove that you are in that particular trade, because they just don't let anybody in. And if you're not a tradesman, hey, look up your interests. Look up something in retail. Look up something in quilting. Look up in whatever the case that you're interested in. There is groups out there for Facebook, I have found out, for any interest that you would like to find out more about. And that's how you become successful, is by learning from other people. Don't make the same mistakes that everybody else makes, and don't make them over and over again. Why reinvent the wheel? Knowledge is out there on the internet now. So take advantage of that. The other one is something that I just recently got involved in, and it's called Instagram. Now, I had no desire to get on Instagram, but one of the people in one of my groups was telling me, hey, Dave, why don't you check that out? Okay, so I said, okay. So I checked it out, and I just got into that over the past month, and basically they show, people put pictures out on everything. Well, I found out there's a lot of tradesmen out there. Guess what? From all around the world on here. And basically, if you do a hashtag, and they do a lot with hashtags, you can write however long you want. You just write hashtags, and it'll go to different groups. And if you do a hashtag to, say, a tradesman, you'll see all kind of tradesman pictures. You'll see pictures of electrical work, HVAC, plumbing, whatever you want to hashtag, and that's how they work on that. If you want to post something, you just put a picture up, and you put a hashtag on it, and people are looking at your picture and making comments on it. So, and the nice thing about Instagram is you can follow anybody, but they may not follow you. So you can go through and follow whoever you want, whoever sounds interesting on there. So you can learn a lot that way too. And again, it's just by listening. You don't even have to comment. You just look at the information. If you don't like it, you move on. You don't have to say anything. That's, again, learning on your own, not waiting for somebody else to teach you. The other one I want to talk about real quick is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, this is more of a professional profile. This is one where you really want to get on, and this is going to show your qualifications. What is your experience? If you're looking for that right job, or you want to move up in your career, and maybe you're kind of stagnant in your career right now. You're not sure which way to go. Well, LinkedIn is one of those where you put your professional group on there. Now, I want to go back to this. Anybody out there listening to this podcast, if you want to hook up with me on Facebook, Facebook has Surging Forward has a Facebook page. Feel free to check out the Surging Forward page, and you can like the page, and you'll see my name associated with the Surging Forward page, David Ballantyne. And, there's a lot of David Ballantynes out there, so it's hard to sometimes find me. But you'll see the guy with the headphones on doing the podcast. I've kind of changed my profile picture on that. But if you're a fellow tradesman, hey, feel free to befriend me. I'll be one of your first friends if you want. Or if you got a ton of friends, hey, check me out too. Because, my whole goal is to help as many people as I can out there excel in the trades. That's the whole purpose of what I'm doing in this part of my life. I've had a very successful career. I now teach the trades. Yes, I'm still working full time, but eventually I'm going to be retiring from that also. And my whole goal is to teach and help others, because this trade has been good to me. It's had a lot of ups and downs, but I've been very successful. I've put 2 kids through college. I've worked my way from the ground up. And you can too. I work for an engineering firm now. I'm an electrical consultant inspector. And I started with no more than barely a high school education. Trust me, I got through high school, I think, fixing other people's cars. But that's a whole nother story too. But so LinkedIn is one of those ones. It's more of a professional. So that's where you put your resume. You can get a lot of insights on companies that might be hiring. And so again, also on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn also. If you look up my name, you'll find me. And I'll be more than happy to be one of your contacts. And once we get to know each other, and you never know. It's about networking. That's what it's all about, becoming successful. The other one I want to talk about is Twitter. Twitter, a lot like Instagram, it is more, you can only use, about 150 characters. And it allows you to make a statement, and yet you can keep up with the interests of other people and other companies. And also, you get a lot of motivational leadership. So it's one of those things, you can follow however many you want. So it's not a matter of you getting a bunch of followers. It's about who are you following. So you can get all these followers, and you can listen, and you get their tweets throughout the day. And a lot of times, I follow a lot of course, leadership and motivational things, and a couple electrical companies, and I kind of see what's going on, and they post a lot of different things. You can learn from just other electrical companies what they're doing, and again, you might pick up something here and there. But I get a lot of posts from motivational and a lot of the leadership sites, and those are things that keep me motivated. I get 10, 12, 15 of them a day, and I just read them real quick and go, okay, it's a little inspiring, and sometimes it gets me out of that kind of down feeling. We all get down sometimes, but gives me a little bit of inspiration, helps me out there. So again, you can follow anyone you choose, and you can listen to what they say about any subject that you choose. So another media that's similar, it's still considered social, but it's more on listening and reading. And of course, that's blogs. There's a lot of blogs out there. And again, just go into Google and type in, electrician blog. And you'll find a list of blogs that are out there. Type in, tradesman blog, or type in, banker blog, or retail blog, salesman blog, whatever the case, whatever your title is, you type in and you'll find, and again, most of those people, they put out articles once a day, once a week, and you can subscribe to the blog, and every time there's a new article, you get an email and you can read the article. Now, the nice thing about that, it's not like a book that you have to finish reading. You can read 2 or 3 lines and say, this ain't for me, and just put it aside. Then when a new one comes out, whoa, this one's interesting. And you can go through and read the whole thing. Well, and of course, another one is, of course, podcasts. Well, definitely podcasts are kind of social media. Now, of course, you're very free to leave comments. You can go to my website at Surging Forward Podcast and leave comments, on the blog itself. And it's not really a blog. Mine's sort of I'm working on it. The WordPress site, I'm not computer literate. I don't know a whole lot about computers, but I know enough to be dangerous. But I'm working on it. But you can leave a comment there, and I try to respond to all the comments. I mostly get emails. People will send me an email. So again, if you'd like to send me an email, it's dave@surgingforward.com. Most of the people communicate maybe by email or sometimes like that. But comments are good because that way it shows that other people are listening. So, check that out. You can leave a comment there. So, of course, Surging Forward is a good one to listen to. But there's some apps. Before we talk about good ones to listen to, I have a couple of them here. But a lot of people say, how do you listen to a podcast? Well, iTunes, of course, they're the biggest one. But you have to have an iPhone at this time. You just basically download their app, do a search for the podcast you want to listen to, and you can subscribe to it, and you get the new one every week. Another one is Stitcher. Now, this one's on Android, and you can also get it on an iPhone. And it's the same thing. You basically sign up for it. It's a free app. And then you download, or you don't download it. You just subscribe, and you automatically get all of the podcasts. You can listen to whichever ones you want. So whatever the company is. Another one is called Podbean, Podbean. Another one is called Tunein. And that one's actually cool because I have the Amazon Echo, and that's addicting. My whole house is automated now. I love the Echo, but Amazon has really gone crazy with that. But that's pretty cool. You could talk to it, and I even do that with Surging Forward. I'll say just Alexa, play Surging Forward podcast on TuneIn, and boom, my most recent episode comes up and it plays right off the bat. It's pretty cool. Now the one I've been using recently is called Podcast Addict. Now that one there, I like that one because it shows all the episodes right off the bat of all the I started listening to a lot of different podcasts. And what's nice, they don't all come at the same time. Again, I pick and choose. I listen to them on the way to work. I just click it, boom, and I listen to them. And usually they're only 30 to 40 minutes long. So as I listen to them, I'm all done by the time I get to work. And it's like, wow, I got one little tidbit of information that can make a difference in my life or my career. So these are all free apps. Now, there are some paid ones out there. I don't know what type of paid ones they are. I don't know what the advantages are. I'll be truthful with you. But there are some paid ones out there you can check out. I'm sure if you listen to hundreds of podcasts, they might be good because then you could sort and do whatever the case may be. But I haven't really checked those out yet. So, but again, when you sign up, when you have a podcast app, when you sign up for a podcast and you hit subscribe, every time they put out a new episode, you'll automatically get it. You don't have to go to the website anymore. You don't have to do anything to get it. It just comes right there. It's on your phone. That's what's great about these phones. I actually have a phone that I use separately just to listen to podcasts. So I kind of use that as my MP3 player. It works great. So here's a couple of them that I think you would really love to answer to. One of them is called Awaken the Leader. This person, David, I actually met him on Twitter, and he is doing a great podcast on leadership. And so I think you would really like his podcast. He's doing a great job with video. If you look up Awaken the Leader on not Surging Forward site. Actually, I'll put a link to his YouTube on my site. But he's really doing a great job with video. And actually, it's funny because him and I were talking, and I started before he did, but he's actually surging ahead of me, on the video. But he's doing a great job. I'm just like, wow. So that's why I had to get this video out. So thanks, David, for inspiring me to get this video out. I'm sure you got to probably listen to it. But another great one is called 48 Days to the Work You Love. Now, that one is with Dan Miller. You can look him up on the website. He has a ton of information for you. And that's exactly what it is. 48 Days to the Work You Love. How to find that right job for you. So I don't care where you're at. He gives you a lot of insight of what to look at. He has a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And I listen to every one of his podcasts. I can't wait for the new one to come out. It is so inspirational. And, I've joined in a lot of his groups. I'm kind of trying to absorb as much information from his group as I can. So, and as far as some of the blogs, there's all kinds of different blogs, again, out there. So, and of course, as far as podcasts go, definitely want to listen to the Surging Forward podcast. So if you have a podcast app, make sure you click, look up Surging Forward, SURGING, forward, and podcast, and subscribe. So you'll see us there, and that way you'll get every one of our new episodes. We're here to put one out every week to try to help you succeed. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. I know that's a lot of information I've put into this, 20 or 30 minutes here. And I hope you got a little bit out of it. But send me your comments. Let me know what you think about social media. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity out there. But just like everything else, there's a lot of positive. And you can filter out what is good for you. And that's the key. And I would recommend, to look through there and don't pay attention to a lot of negative out there. Try to look at the positive, because that's what it's about. Creating a positive view in a negative world. We get bombarded with plenty of negative, and God knows we don't need any more. So with that said, feel free, check out our website, surgingforward.com. We've upgraded the website. For those of you that haven't heard yet, I was going to redesign the whole website, but I kind of decided not to. But we have our code courses, and we also have added contractors courses if you want to go into contracting. And now we're nationwide. So we have the qualifications for all the different states. So that's kind of cool. So go to surgingforward.com, and you'll actually see a map there now where you can click on your state for whatever course you're looking for. And I have a ton of courses out there. We're even doing those for water treatment now. And I said before, we have one for tow truck driving. There's a couple OSHA courses in there. And again, each one of these come with a certificate. And so we're really branching out on the courses out there. But, even if you don't get one, just go ahead and check it out and see if there might be something that might interest you down the road also. Because, some of the states, when you're looking to start your own business, you have to do these pre-qualifications. Well, we do all those now too. So especially for Virginia, and again, all across the United States now also. So I just want to end by saying, stay positive and stay safe. And always keep surging forward. Stay safe, my friends, and God bless.